Okay. All right. Well, it's coming up. Make sure it's muted. All right. Okay, cool. So yeah, I just want to kind of go over like where you are, what you think you want to do, and just go over some of the charts we went over. We dropped in here.
Yeah, so I've been kind of like I've been trading, but I've been investing for a while. So, I was always like familiar with stocks and stuff. A couple of years ago, I had a friend introduce me to, you know, the Forex chick mentorship. Um,
Okay.
and when I was doing it I did it, I don't know, maybe like three months and 3 to 4 months maybe. And I think at the time, I think my problem was I was listening to too many instructors.
Mhm.
So, I had all that conflicting, information, and I wasn't being successful. So I felt like I was, wasting my money. So I just went back to stocks.
Okay.
Um, but it had been, it'd been on my mind like a lot, like to come back. And I feel like I can do this. Like I feel like, I have the technical capability. I just need to, like work on the discipline part. So my goal is to, just have this as my main source of income is as quickly as I can. Um, and do whatever it takes to learn how to, be a profitable trader.
Okay. Um, One of the things that I kind of suggest people consider is like, do you know what replacing your income would imply? Like, what, how much is your monthly, like recurrent bill? Like, what are you paying total, like subscriptions and all that kind of stuff? And then once you calculate that, find out what you can cut out because like trading full time is great, but you know, it is not the easiest thing, right? Because you are pretty much self-reliant at that point. Some days, some months, you got to look at things a little different. You have to look at things from a standpoint where, all right, if I want this Netflix, that means that I need to get 19 pips because it's $20 basically. If you want to pay the phone bill, that means that's 140 pips for every dollar. You know what I'm saying? So you got to kind of change how you approach things. So sometimes you don't get to get that big target that you were looking for because you need to make sure that you hit certain numbers all the time. And then after you hit that certain number, then you can start looking to getting outside of that range. Okay.
Right.
So, like I said, find out what that number is. And then once you find that number, what on that list can you cut? Right. Cause like for me, like I stopped doing, like I switched phone services. I was paying like 140 and I went to one that was like $70. So that was like $70 I saved. That was, I consolidated a bunch of debt I had and like paid some of that stuff off. And that those kind of things like help make it a little easier for you. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm married too, and my wife she does really well. I do well too, but I'm trying to look for a different career. So it's not like I need to.
Yeah,
I don't want to. The goal isn't to where I'm not working, but it's to where like I don't need to,
you don't need to.
or I
Yeah,
can work and do something that I want to do, even if
yeah,
it's starting at the bottom entry level,
yep,
um, and do something that I'm passionate about instead of something that I don't want to trade my time for
yep.
money for something I don't enjoy.
You'll actually notice that you trade better. under those circumstances. So, okay.
What circumstances?
When you don't have to do it.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, when you don't have to do it. So, who team were you on when you first came in?
Oh shoot, whose team was I on? That's a good question. That's a good reason why. I think eventually was it Garvando's team, maybe.
Okay, okay,
But I don't think I was always on his team. At first, I had no idea whose team I was on for like the first month.
okay.
Because like I said, I kind of came on under my friend Brandy. Um,
Brandy Williams.
now Brandy Smith,
Yeah.
they had her account all jacked up, so she ended up leaving.
Okay, yeah, I don't know who she was. Okay, cool. Let's look at a couple of these charts.
I actually sent you this one after it hit.
This is Bitcoin Tether. So this was after the fact.
So like I did a bunch of them at a time, and then I like sent them to you, like at once. So I think I marked this up, and then it hit my targets. Like
Okay,
I marked it up, and then I sent it.
okay. So I won't worry about that one. This one though. So one of the things I was gonna mention to you is like pay attention to the ranges, right? Because this move from where you got your buy and your sell set
Mhm.
up right here, this range is over like 200 pips, right? Because you're
Mhm.
going from 82.71 for your sell, and then you're going from 83.43 for this range, right? Now, you could probably go to a even smaller time frame and clean this up a little bit
Mhm.
and use this high and this low over here to set the range and make it a smaller range on it. A lot of the charts you sent me, the ranges were really, really wide, right?
Yeah.
And for some of the setups, um, the range you were using, it probably would take a month before it even touched that.
Sure. Gotcha.
Um, this one wasn't as bad, but I just noticed that in this case, I probably would have just used this level right here and this level right here. And that would have gave you a pretty decent range to trade out of.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Uh, draw. Yeah. So I would have probably used this area right here. Oops, not what I was trying to do. And just box this in. This high would have been my buy. This would have been my sell. This 4 hour from the 29th. And then this buy, the 4 hour on the 29th for this would have been my sell level. And then this buy daily would have been my buy on that. Just to keep it simple, because waiting for this to happen probably would have took a little too long.
Mhm.
You would have had 3 or 4 opportunities to get in from that point around here, around this level right here, before you had got to that. You could have traded the trade out of that just to get to this area,
Mhm.
or from here to get to here before that. So just keep that in mind. Like based off of the pair, watcher counts on how high you wanna how large you're gonna use the ranges, especially on these 4x pairs, because it would have it takes a lot longer on some of those.
Can you
So
go back to that one real quick?
yep. Which one is this?
So if I did,
This one.
let's see. So if I did do a sell at that 4 hour, are those TPs, are the ranges for those too big too?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think if this is one of the earlier ones I sent you, then I think it was probably I was like looking at them at like way longer time frames.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and the later ones that I sent you, they were like, I think I kind of fixed that a little bit. Like after I did a couple of
I
those.
noticed. Yeah, I noticed already. That's why I didn't really have a lot, but when I wanted to just go over these because these were the ones that I was like, whoa, whoa. So because I like here, this would have been a target right here. This would have been a target. Then we would have came down here. Not only is this a target, but it's a new sell area too. Like that's correct. Like you could sell from here. And then you can start using these targets right here. But even in between this, like even on the way down, you could probably tighten this up a little bit. So I like to use the wick rejections as my target. So like this would have been a target right here. This would have still probably been a target right here, but just to tighten things up, I would have probably just used this area right here. That would have been my target.
Okay.
For me, this is what that setup would have looked like right here. Where if I sold off from here, I would have been going from here, here, here. Those would have been my main three. If I came out of this area right here, then we go to this little wick or whatever, or to this area. But overall, these would have probably been my main targets. And these are more reasonable targets with a move like this, right? Because this is about this 83.12. This is probably right around 83.90. Then this is right around 82.80, 82.71. That would have been cool. And those are about when you're looking at these kind of pairs, like you probably want to go for like 20 to 30 pips
Gotcha.
for your targets, 20 to 30 pips on your target. For a 4X pair, that's usually the range you're going to get, a 20 to 30 pip move. Sometimes if you're looking at it from like a 4 hour move, you can probably get about 30 to 50, 30 to 50, and sometimes 75. And then you get those explosive moves that's going to go like 100 to 150 pips. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then for your indices setups, those you can usually get an average between 200, about 100 to 500 pip per day move. So that's kind of why I like trading indices more, because I know I can get a certain amount of pips per day. But like really those were like the main things I would just want you like, because really the ranges were the only thing that I was noticing that I was like, yeah, that's a little bit off. Like right here, this is okay. With this is 27.14. That's 26.95. That's cool. Like a lot of the rest of the charts, you pretty much were pretty good on those.
That's one of the ones you sent me
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
quick.
The range is just way too big on this. Um, yeah. And what I was gonna do too, let me show you like a shortcut so that you can use when you find in your ranges. Um, so I use this little indicator right here. It's called higher high, higher low, right here. And it's by this guy Lonesome the Blue with about 3,111 likes. And you got to find that one in particular. So what I'll do is to make things quick for me, if I'm looking at my ranges, right? So I won't focus on anything other than finding a high and a low, right? That's the first thing I do. And I start from the daily, right? First thing I do, a high and a low, right? I got a whole range of price that I got to get through before I can do anything else out of here, right? So this is my daily. It's a daily, right? I don't worry about nothing else after that. I just got a high and a low on the daily. Then I drop down to 4 hour. And you notice how there's a lower high here, but there isn't one over here until we get to right here. That means I'm done. I don't worry about nothing else after that. Then I go to the 4 hour and I find, all right, there's a high right here. Where is my next low? There's one right here, right? There's a 4 hour one right here. I'm gonna mark that one off. Um, 4 hour zone, right? Do I got another one in between here? I got one right here. That's another one. Right here. That's a 4 hour. Outside of that, I got the rest of them pretty much accounted for. Those, so I got 2 daily zones, 2 4 hour zones. I'm gonna drop to the 1 hour. Same approach. I got a high here. I got some lows right here and here, right? Right here. That's my 1 hour. And then I'm gonna use this one right here. That's a 1 hour. And when I do that, once I have price like kind of trapped within a decent size range, I don't need to go any further than that, right? I don't really need to go no further than that, right? If I wanted to, I could add this one. I'll go ahead and add this one too. This 1 hour right here. And now you can see, like, I already got a decent range. I could buy from this one. I can even tighten it up a little bit right here. The range for this is from here to here. It's about 90 pips. That's okay because it's gold. If I even wanted to get tighter, I can go to the 15-minute and do the same process over, right? We got this. This one right here. And now I can still just clean this up a little bit and use these as my targets right here. If I buy, I go to this 4 hour. I look for the daily. If it's something in between here, which is not a lot, I can target like this area right here. That's a 15-minute area. And again, I got my range pretty much right around 50 pips now. Yep, right around 50 pips. That's a good range. And then I can just focus on if it breaks out of here, I can go here. This would be worst case scenario. If it breaks below here, I know I can come down to here and here. And I should be good on that area. If it break above, I know I got this level and at least to this level. And each one of those targets are reasonable targets to go to. This one is 75. If I came down here, this one is about 70. If it wanted to come down here, that's 100 pips. So you got a decent range for each one of your setups without like trying to overreach uh, certain targets to get to, you know.
So if
And
you
yeah, go
if
ahead.
if you're so right there where you have the marker that says high, the 1852, if you sold from that zone, then what would your stop loss be, like where your by the break line is?
Yep, yep.
It's
Usually you looking for 1 to 2 setup or 2 to 1, 1 to 1 setup or 2 to 1 setup.
so are you counting your first target, or you're counting all your targets? Because
All of them.
okay,
Yep. Your setup would look like this. It's almost 2 to 1. That's 1.7. This one's 2 to 1 right here. It's 2 to 1. That's 1.7. This one's 2 to 1 right here. For the buy, for the sell. That one's 2 to 1. This one's a 1.7 to 1. And a lot of times you can even tighten it up even more once you're in the trade. Because once you're in the trade, you might be able to tuck it below a certain level that you see it responding to. So in a case if we like say, let's say we use this level and we bought from here, from this level, from our sell zone, we would actually be able to tighten this stop up underneath this area. And given where it is right now, you would already be up, what is it, 30 pips or something like that. And you still would be looking at this target right here. And yep, you would already be up 35 points on this without using a stop loss below the most recent low, because that's where I'm using as a stop loss. This low right here would be my stop loss. But now that I'm in the trade, I already see I could adjust it so that I don't have to leave my stop loss down here. I could tuck it up underneath this last down candle right here, and I would be okay. And that'll increase my risk reward ratio. And really, this could be at break even already because it's up like 25 points.
I was gonna say, because like I found myself like getting, wicked out of trades. Like when I'm looking at the trades, like I'm losing my, all right, my stop loss is too close, it's too close. Or the other thing was, my ranges were too big. So it's like I went up a bunch of pips and it's like I let it go all the way back.
Yeah. My rule of thumb is on Forex, once I'm up 20 pips, I'm at break even. I don't care what happened. On indices, between 50, probably between 100 and 200 pips. If it come back after that, that means I was either too early or I was in the wrong direction, one or the other one. And if I break even, I break even. I don't think about it after that, I'm gonna show you what I traded today, right quick. So I traded this setup right here, where it was already selling off. And what's wrong, babe? Oh, thank you. I forgot about it. Sorry. This mine?
Yeah.
This one?
Taste mine.
Oh, you want me to taste it? Pretty good.
Yeah, okay. I got two if you want it.
Okay. Okay. Let me get that other one. Sorry, sorry, bro.
There you go, man.
Yeah, so today I was thinking like we were already bearish, right? On S&P and selling off, right? And I accounted for it, but I didn't account for the fact that we had news at 10 o'clock. So I was under the impression we were going to come to 4,100 and then reject, right? Right around this candle right here on the 10 o'clock open, we did reject right around here at this little gap right here. And I took 3 positions right here from here, here, and here. And you can see I was absolutely wrong, right? But let me actually open the chart up right quick. Hold on. I was absolutely wrong on this. Thank you. Just open the chart. Yeah, I was absolutely wrong on this, but did I make money? Yeah, I did, because I had already had my stop loss in profit and at break even, so if I did take a loss, or if I did, if anything went wrong against me, then it wouldn't matter, because I was okay with the fact that my stop loss had already been. And I used this high right here as my stop. I was looking at this setup right here. And then I sold from there, sold from here. Same thing. This was my target down here. At least this was my target. And another time within this area, right? But this trade went altogether 60 something pips. This trade went altogether 120 something pips. It didn't matter that it didn't matter that I wasn't right. What matters is I took my trade based off of what I saw at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was already at break even with this trade at break even. So I still managed to close out with like $500 without even being in the right direction, right? Yes, I could have made more money on the way up, and I was wrong with my judgment on the way up, but sometimes that's going to be the case. But you have to do everything in your power and under your control to make sure that either you come out flat with a small gain, or you break even. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can do everything the right way and still not see what you needed to see in order to get in the trade the right way. So sometimes that's just how it operates. Sometimes that's how it is. So do you have a trading plan?
I have what?
Trading plan.
No, not really.
Okay. All right. I got an old sample one. I'm gonna send this to you. So this is an old one that I had. This, like, you can see it's all the way back in 2019, but this is kind of a checklist that I go by I used to go by every day, just to make sure I'm doing everything the right way. So I'll send this to you so you can have it and modify it to however you need it to be,
Appreciate it.
Just drop it. I'm just dropping it in here. I'll even show you the one I'm using now too, which is different. The one I use now is did I write over this? Yep, I did. Over it. I don't know what's going on with my notes, but yeah. So I made a mistake and typed over it, but so like the one that I'm using now is, let me see. This goes by, let me just get it right here. I'll just redo it. So the one that I'm using now is just kind of like I go by and I always check for certain things. Like I go down the list, I check the news first. I write everything, my thoughts down here. I check the futures. I check the sectors for the day to see what's going up and going down or whatnot. I check earnings calendars every time because mostly I trade indices, so I need to know what's going on with earnings and all that kind of stuff. I check my daily chart, 1 hour, 15, 5 minutes for my entry. And then whatever I think I must trade, I write it down here. Same thing over here. Whatever I write down a setup for a buy, and I write down what I think a setup for a sell would be every single day. I go through this same process. So I'll send this to you too, but I'll just clean it up a little bit so you don't have all this stuff on there. I even record my trades too. This is like a little recording of the whole process, the trade that I went through, just so I can go back, review it at some point, and just make sure that I, see what I did wrong. Sometimes you have issues with your broker where, it'll slip you out or something like that. So I just try to make sure that I got all that stuff documented, right? I'm going through a FTMO challenge too. So I want to keep track of all that kind of stuff just to make sure I see what's going on with that, to see progress or whatever. And then another thing I would recommend is opening up an account with this website, FX Blue. So FX Blue it's a website for you to track your progress, your balance, track your progress. So a couple months back, I opened up this little $60 account that I just want to I'm doing some I'm trying to follow like real strict risk parameters. So I'm doing everything like really, really, really tight, right? And trying to make sure I'm risking like certain amounts on the account. And I want to keep track of that, right? So this site, FX Blue, is a site that you can set up your accounts to so that you can track your daily progress, monthly, weekly, or whatnot, right? So I would definitely recommend using this website. And let me send this to you. Once you set up the account, it's free. I'm gonna put everything inside of the Discord.
It just copies like all your trades.
It copies all your trades and you get all of your info copied right over to it, right? You can see all your stats on it, right? On this little account, it's been going 62 days. I'm a 1.1 profit factor, monthly return 10%. That's around what I wanted. Weekly 2%. That's around what I want on this account. I can see my losing days, winning days, number of total trades, number of winning weeks, month, or whatnot. The symbols that I trade the most over here, I can see all that good stuff. Week, how I've done over the past weeks, over the past days, months, which day of the week I do the best on. So look, Wednesday, I don't do too good on Wednesday for some reason. Don't do too good on Friday for some reason, but on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, I'm doing pretty good on those days. Let me see. It gives you your overall statistics, overall equity curves or whatnot, so you can see what you're doing, how you need to improve or whatnot on the account. What's your biggest like I said, what's your main trade, how your equity curve is looking. And like for me, that's what's been my curve is the most important thing, right? I want to make sure this is always going in a upward direction, right? I don't really trade it a lot, but on this account, but like I said, I'm trying to do things in a certain way on this account so that I can I'm trying to show some of you guys like you can grow a $60 account, right? The right way without over leveraging and blowing the account, right? Another thing on here I like to do is like, this is a good way for you to manage your risk as well, right? So what I like to tell people to do is focus on the percent change. And like, say for instance, you had this, focus on like what your negative days are, right? So far, these past couple of days, it was a 3% loss, 4.5% loss, 3.2% loss. I like to focus, I like to kind of play like a little mental game or whatever, where I go through and I'm like, okay, I got a 0.7% loss and basically a 5% loss, right? So for the next couple of days, my goal is to focus on erasing this loss and this loss. And then after I do that, I know I'll be, up whatever that percentage is or whatever, or focus on recovering this loss by making these 2 days of wins right here. And that's kind of how I go through my charts when I'm looking at stuff like how I've done versus from a percentage standpoint versus a math versus a dollar amount.
Mm-hmm.
And if you always thinking along those lines, then you'll always be in profit, right? So I already recovered this 24% loss and this 18% loss and this 7.3% loss already. So I know I'm good on this account. I already recovered this loss. I already recovered this loss and this loss. I need to now go back and recover this one and this one. But I've almost covered this loss with these 2 days already for the most part. So that's just something that I do, like I don't know, if that's going to help, but I know that overall this particular website is a good website to use. I got my other accounts on this too. that I have, like this one, the FTMO account that I just started. And this one is one that I'll be looking at over the next couple of days too. So this FTMO account is, is one that I'm working on that I just started. So I'm gonna do the same, take the same approach, where I'm going through, looking at my stats, making sure I'm doing what I need to do to go ahead and pass this challenge. So, um, and all you got to do when you're setting this up is go to the home box, home link, and then there is analyze your trading account. And here you'll just select MT4, and you can either do with the account sync or this publisher EA. If you do it with the publisher EA, you got to actually install it onto your MetaTrader 4 on your computer. If you do it with the account sync, it'll account for all of your trades, but certain brokers don't let you do the account sync. You have to do the EA. And I think FTMO is one of them. So I don't know if you trying to go that route or not, but just keep that in mind.
Gotcha.
Have you tried to take the challenge, FTMO challenge before?
I just heard about it. I just kind of like heard about it last week. So I don't really know a whole lot of details on it. Was it like they give you money, or you gotta like do the challenge and prove that you can trade, and then they give you money to trade with?
Yep, that's exactly it. It's a 30-day challenge, and you have to meet certain risk parameters. You can't take your account and draw down more than 5% per day, and 10% over the month. You get 30 days to go through this process of earning 10%. And depending on your account size, like I'm doing a 100K account with a normal risk. So I have to do 10K in 30 days. And then after the 30 days is up, if I met the target, then I go into verification. And then I have to do 5,000 in 60 days without breaking the rules. If the 30 days come up and I didn't meet the target, but I made half of it, let's say I made 5,000, they'll give you an extension for 14 days to try to make the 10K. If you're profitable, but you didn't meet the goal, you can just retry after the 30 days is up. As long as you trade 10 days, you can just retry.
Gotcha. Yeah,
so
I just need to work on being profitable first.
yeah, that's the goal. And you can retry as many times you want. Like I always tell people to just do the trial, and you should be good. Just keep doing the trial as many times. I say do it like 5 times. Just go through the trial. And for me personally, I would recommend that you take this route anyway, because you're going to make more money than you would be able to invest into your own accounts.
So it's like it's not really any risk to just do the trial.
No, the trial is free.
So there wouldn't be. So yeah, I could just let's say this is my first week trading. Like it's still a good idea to do it.
Get in. Really focus on learning more than anything, because once you learn how to do it, you can take the challenge anytime. I've helped people pass the challenge several times. And when I used to do live trading, it was people that was taking my trades and they were passing the challenge. all the time. And that's kind of where I was helping everybody to do, was just to pass the challenge.
Mhm.
So I don't do live trading no more, but you know, if you're taking Kim's sessions on Go Live, you can definitely pass the challenge from there.
You talking about like during the week or the
Yep.
Sunday one?
Mm-hmm. Are you on her calls at all?
No, I don't know if my account has because what she's still like I remember like she used to be like on Gold Cup or something.
Yeah, she does. She does her calls under the new package now.
So I
It's
did.
not Gold Cup though.
I can't. I don't. It's kind of
What's
confusing.
that?
I said they don't like kind of change the packages. I think since the last
Yeah,
time.
it's a little different. It's a little different. They don't have it. It's under the Pro Pack now. So you got to have the Pro Pack to get on her calls Tuesday through Thursday, but you do have her Sunday call included without it. That Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern, you do have that call. So at least try to get on that one for sure.
What was I ask you? Oh yeah. So like, how's like the mentorship like set up now? Like I know you said like you don't do the lives no more. I remember like it used to be like a call like every 4 hours or something. I'm seeing like somebody was uh like doing something on
Yeah.
the channel. Like what's kind of like what's
It kind of to be honest, like we felt like we were just giving way too much, man. And like sometimes we would be doing calls. Um, I would be in the hospital. Kim would be driving on the road, and it would be like 4 people on the call, you know. Now we still doing our calls. We just kind of limited them to fewer calls. And so the way we approach it now is everybody got to get on the Sunday Go Live. And then throughout the week, you got your schedule. Since you're in a beginner, your schedule is over here. These are the calls you have available. You got the Sunday call with Christine. You got another one with me. And then you got mindset call with Kim. And then on the Go Live, which is Monday at 8 a.m., we recommend you get on with Joshua Williams, who's a basic educator. Tuesday, book club with him. You got to register for that. We about to fill this with something we don't know yet. And then we recommend you get on with David on Thursday to go over point of interest. And then again on with Josh. And then on Saturday, we got 2 calls. Another one with Christine, and then another one with Lester, Nelson, and Alfredo. Once you finish this and we go through and we make sure that you're ready to kind of go to from basics to intermediate, you got to do all these things right here. Once you do that, you can switch over to the intermediate, and then there's a different schedule for you guys in the intermediate where you get more calls. So really the goal is to try to move you from basic to intermediate to advanced, so that way you can have access to more of the calls that we have.
Gotcha.
We just want to make sure that you guys understand what you're looking at first, you know.
So how do I go from basic to intermediate?
Right here. if you go under the basics tab, there's basics to intermediate tab right here. This is going to tell you everything you need right here. So you're going to go at least on 8 different sessions per week. You have to have attended at least 8 sessions, right? You're going to have to go through this little quiz right here. Let me see if it's still up. Right here. This little short little quiz. And then we're going to have another conversation like this about like, I want to see your charts. I want to see another set of 25 charts. I want to see some of the trades that you've taken. And, I just want to make sure that you are, going on the calls just to make sure that you're showing up. That's pretty much the requirement.
Gotcha.
We just want to make sure like you're not coming into advanced or intermediate and like don't even know how to mark up your chart,
So this is so I kind of like mentioned this earlier. This is kind of like one of the concerns I had like the last time I was in. Like I felt like being on too many of the calls kind of confused me. Like what kind of advice can you give me on that? And I mean, like just to like, I don't say this disrespectfully at all, but like at times like the mentorship kind of felt like a little cultish, and it was like I don't know. I would get on some calls, and then I felt like it was like contradictory, and I don't know. It kind of had my head spinning, and they're like, well, you guys not getting on the calls. You're not getting on the calls. I'm like, well, like I decided I didn't want to learn from this person. Like I want to learn from these 3 people, and kind of keep it consistent. But it was like I know there was a lot of pressure, like to kind of like be like on every call, which like working sometimes wasn't really realistic. But what kind of advice can you kind of?
Yeah, I think you answered your own question by just basically saying like, who do you relate to? Which person makes the most sense to you? And after you, of course, get on the go live sessions. Like that's comes before anything, right? Make sure you get on the go live session. But outside of that, who do you relate to? Which person makes sense to you, right? You don't have to get on every single call, and you shouldn't feel like you should have to. You like you don't worry about like not like getting on everything, right? The calls that for the beginners that I suggest you guys get on, like just off the top of my head, is for sure the mindset call. That don't have nothing to do with setups and looking at charts or anything. That's just mindset, right? This Sunday call. And then the go live session on Sunday night, I definitely suggest you get on that too at 10 p.m. Outside of those 2 calls, it's kind of up to you. However you see fit. Like you might like the way Christine teaches. You might like the way David teaches. And then when you go into intermediate, you might want to get on my session more or once you get in advance. Because I know for a fact that sometimes I talk about stuff that's way over people's head, especially for beginners. Some people have told me that I put them to sleep because I'm boring sometimes, but that's because I talk about topics that they don't understand, right? Or I talk about strategies that they don't understand. And some people don't relate to that kind of stuff, right? And that's okay. because that's why it's so many of us that's teaching in the mentorship. So that way, every person, every personality can get what they need from it. You know, if you want to hear somebody cheering and loud and just turned up all the time, you probably need to be on Kim's session. You know, like that's Kim. Kim is always. You want to hear a comedian, that might be David. You know what I'm saying? But when you want to hear somebody smooth, like that's me. Like I'm smooth. I'm chill. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I approach it. You know.
So, like looking at the schedule though, if on the basics to intermediate, it said be on 8 weekly calls, and there's only 9 calls listed. So like that's what I mean. Like I gotta be on 8 of these
Nah,
calls, or
nah. Like I said, mindset and the 10 p.m. go live. Those primary. That's your primary thing. Everything else is up to you. Everything else is up to you. We just want to make sure, like I said, that you grasping the concept, how to get your trade set up, how to enter, exit your trades, how to make sure you put using proper stop loss, how to make sure you're using proper risk management. Like that's the main focus. Like really, as far as you moving from intermediate to advanced and so on, we just want to make sure you know what you're doing. Want to make sure you know what you're doing. Want to make sure you know how to use MT4 the right way. Make sure you know how to use TradingView the right way. Like that's the kind of stuff that's really more important. And that you're showing the effort,
gotcha. Okay, well I feel like I'm pretty much there.
Definitely. You've been on all the Sunday calls that I remember.
Yeah, we on the Saturday one. Sometimes I make the Sundays, sometimes I don't. It's because I be at service.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Like I already like you've already like you'll be surprised, man. Like some of the people I still haven't got their 25 charts from them. But they like, oh, I'm supposed to be in advance. Like you can't even do 25 chart markups. You know what I'm saying? So it is you good. Like, don't worry. And then another tab over here is Kim's tab. This is where she gonna drop um all of her sessions, and her markups are right here. I'll usually drop my markups under my tab over here, or I'll put them in here under in our group chat.
Okay.
I haven't been as active in here because I'm trying to focus on getting this FTMO right now, so I kind of dialed it back a little bit. But normally I would be dropping some setups in here. I just haven't of late, so that'll change eventually. I just got to get this taken care of. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right.
That is pretty much it.
Got what I need to work on.